Morning all. Yeah, the weather's still not cooperating for pressure washing, so I guess we're going to fix the sticky throttle. And I think my problem is the throttle is over here and it comes around, comes here and makes a sharp bend into the carburetor or to the throttle linkage. So I'm thinking of rerouting and bring it in from this side. Um, yeah, I'll have to look at it, but yeah, got to pull the battery so I can at least get it removed and the air filter. So I'll bring you back once I've got the battery out and the filter off. Well, the air filter really doesn't look that bad. I may pull the pre-filter off and blow it out, but yeah, I bought a new one, but I don't think this needs replaced yet. Yeah, I have to remove this lower housing here to get to the throttle cable linkage. So before removing the lower housing bolts, we want to close that. Okay, so I was wrong. The silver cable here is actually the choke cable, and it works fine. It's this black cable right here, and this is not a correct cable. So the routing looks okay for it, but I think it's you can see it's really long. So we're going to replace this cable here and with a new one. So yeah, let me pull that cable off. I'm not quite sure where the stiffness is coming from because the throttle linkage here moves freely, and the throttle cable itself, I mean, it needs to be a certain stiffness so it doesn't, as you go full throttle, it doesn't drift down on you. So it may have just been a routing issue. Let me see if I can come up with a different route for this thing, because yeah, we're going to clean all this up, throw a little oil on it, but I think this is just fine. Yeah, because you got to have a certain level of stiffness. So let me look at the routing. Well, I'm thinking this cable may be too long, and I mean it feels all right. So I went out my cable stash, and I've got this guy. He's, let's say about a foot shorter, but it's really free moving. So I'm thinking about transplanting this cable onto this linkage. And instead of running the cable down all the way around this side down to there, I'm thinking bringing the cable from there down this way, and we'll go in to the other side of the linkage here. Let me make sure that's going to work. So before I go messing with a known good cable, I've been tearing pieces off of this over the years, and honestly this thing, well, what is it? Well, it was my little engine test stand where you could hook up an engine to it. You'd have throttle, choke, ignition, start, and PTO, and you check all the functions. And I did this thing years ago, but what we're going to do is this throttle cable is about the same length as the one I want to use. So I figured for a test fit, I'll go ahead and pop this off and use it to test the fit. I mean, if it works, I may just leave it, but yeah, this thing's going to get tore down because it's just hard to store it somewhere. Octopus cables hanging off of it and everything. So yeah, let me yank this off, and I'll probably yank a few other things off just to make this easier to store. It's got good parts. It's got you know, fuse holder. It's got solenoid switches, but yeah, it's just not. You see, I've been robbing it off of bits and pieces. So anyhow, let me quit yakking and get going. Well, unfortunately, the way this control is set up, the bolt holes are here, and for this to work, that would be no throttle and that would be full throttle. So yeah, that ain't going to work, but I want the cable. So instead of destroying my good one over there, this one is seized up, and it's the cable that's seized up. So what we're going to do is we're going to pull this cable off and transplant it with the other one, because this is correct, and I do have a knob for it. All right, let me split that open so I can get that. And this has one of them super long cables on it also. Well, I was about ready to abandon my attempt to make a throttle cable out of all the bits and pieces I have and revert to that, but I was able to make a smooth operating cable that I am hoping will be the right length. So let me go ahead and get this installed and see how it works. Well, the cable's fitting. I might have to do a little bit of adjustment, but to use this hold down, I have to retap that hole, and this tap holder wasn't working, so I've got a 3-jaw chuck that I can go in with it, clean that hole up. Yeah, we're pulling quite a bit of junk out of that hole, and we'll blow it out, clean the tool off, and go a little bit further. All right, tap just bottomed out, so now we'll take it out, and then I'll do a throttle adjustment and tidy up the cable, and we'll see what we got. Okay, I think the first problem's fixed. That feels really good. It's not too stiff and it's not too loose. And I've got it adjusted. Yep. All right. One down. A couple more to go. Yeah, it's cleared up some. I should be able to pressure wash tomorrow. So we're going to stop for here. Thanks for watching.